If you've ever wondered about what a psilocybin-assisted therapy session is like, stick around. You might enjoy this and find it interesting. Back in the fall, a handful of months ago, I went to a psilocybin-assisted therapy retreat with the intention to deeply connect with my self-worth, self-compassion, and self-faith. And I would say that I very, very deeply connected with my self-compassion, what you would call in internal family systems your core part, the part of you that cares about you deeply and is not as reactive as some of the other parts of you that sometimes overwhelm it. And when it's in a good, healthy place, it can help manage your system and manage the parts of you that are feeling strong emotions and doubts and everything. And I've continued to use that since then, multiple times on a daily basis, to work with and keep doing my own inner work in a way that before this it was just words. I mean, I understood it logically, but a lot of times emotionally inside it was just words, whereas now, even when I'm in a triggered state, I found that I still know that inside me that core is there and it's never going away, and it's that I truly do love myself. In the past, when I gotten triggered, I'd start doubting that again. Whereas now, I'm like, no, I know it's there. I know for a fact because of what I experienced in the fall. And what that retreat did was that it's not that the psilocybin did it for me. I connected what was already in myself. I was doing parts work essentially, but the psilocybin just helped to remove some of the blocks and barriers so you can connect with that part of yourself that you've had blocks up. So that's the best way I could describe of how it actually helps. But all the work is just within myself. And after I did the videos, after I did the sessions, I made videos describing what happened. I made one in the evening, that same evening, about 4.5 minutes. So that's the first thing you'll see, where I was just in a very good headspace right then. I wanted to at least connect and tell people thank you for being there with my story and giving a brief little update about it without going into details at that point because it was very late at night. But I just wanted to share because I was in a very good headspace. And then the next day, I made a series of about 6 or so videos to share. And so that's what you'll see next after that is all 6 of those. They're made one after another, including a video that I lost because I actually hit stop. But anyway, so you can, I'll put the chapters down into the description. So if you want to jump to different areas, you can do that too. So take care and enjoy. It was an interesting experience. Oh, one other thing I want to just mention. This experience will be different for everyone. You know, it all depends on what's inside of us because really we're just connecting with our own self and trying to work with those parts of us. And psilocybin just helps you to get past some of your blocks and connect more deeply with what's inside of you. So this is just one experience, but everyone's experiences are different. So that's always worth keeping in mind too. But with that, here are my videos talking about the actual experience when it was fresh, just that evening and the day after. Take care.
Hey everyone. So I might not be talking too loudly, but I just wanted to give a quick update. This isn't going to be long like the other ones, but I've had my second psilocybin session today, and my intention was the same as before, to deeply connect with my self-worth, self-compassion, and self-faith. That's how I distilled all that whole list of things down to that. That was my intention the first day. The first day ended up just being a lot of movement and just needing to move, and still a lot of confusion I talked about. And today is the same intention. And yeah, I went deeper and still, not knowing, but I was able to give myself the care that I needed, and just the me that I've always been aware of. I've always been aware of my own self being here, and I still felt just like me, and I'm didn't even know what was happening, if there's anything more happening than what I was experiencing. As far as I knew, I was just lying there the whole time. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if there was something, any disconnect, which there wasn't. I was physically there, but I didn't know if there's any. I'll give more details later. But the whole time I knew I was crying a lot of it, and people were there supporting me. And my fluvio games, which he's not here, so I can't bring him in because he's over in my room. I'm in the ceremony room right now, because this is a good place, because it's after 11:30 p.m., so people are sleeping, and I still got loads of energy, but I do need to go to sleep after this. This is my last video. I did a video for my WCA Life Retreat group from last year, then one from this year, then the group for people who have joined in for the there, and then another group, and then my personal account on my FB page, and now I'm making one for here, and then I'm going to bed. But I wanted to. It was a very good experience, and I felt like our home is always still here. There's this part of us that's always steady and calm, and even if a lot of times feels like there's a lot of darkness and uncertainty and confusion, and even that part of you might feel uncertain, we're always there for ourselves. It's hard to find sometimes. That part of me, I've always been aware of it, but not fully aware of understanding it. I think I understand myself more now, and I'm in a very good space, and I'm going to keep going. And I appreciate all of you being part of my journey, and I hope that some of this people might find some comfort in this. I'm doing this because I know how much it hurts to hold yourself back, and how much this has hurt me for so long. And that's the reason why I want to be a life coach, is because if I can help someone else to get through this when they're much younger than me or older, doesn't matter, but just imagine, like, if I help someone get through these things that I've held myself back with so many years, but at half of my age, just think about how much more of their own life they have ahead of them, free of some of this. I mean, that just would be wonderful. And that's the reason why I want to do this. I know what it feels like, and I know what other people feel, and if I can help them in some way, then that would be great. And so I don't make this too long, and just wanted to give a quick update and tell you all that I love you and thank you. And this was the shirt that I wore today from AdmireWear. Thank you, Joshua. I really appreciate all your shirts. But you are worthy, important, kind, loved, strong, capable. It was a message for myself and for everyone else here. Thank you. And I'll share more details later. I did talk to my bestie afterwards and told her fresh, and I'm not going to forget it, so I'll share more details in another video separately, or maybe a couple. Anyway, it's time for me to go to bed. Night, everyone. Love you, and thank you for joining my journey, and there's more to come. Bye. Hey, so it's me again. I wanted to share some about my experiences with the second psilocybin retreat. It was a very good experience. Very similar to the first time. It was just me. It was kind of like I was dreaming, sort of, but there was just the me that's always there. The one, I didn't feel any different. Still had that confusion I had. I didn't feel the need to move as much, although I was moving a lot. And it went deeper in this time too. Felt a little bit more disconnected from my body, although I was still aware of my body. It's interesting. But it was just always me. And my intention was to connect deeply with my self-worth, self-compassion, and self-faith. And the whole time I'm experiencing different things and trying to figure out what it is that I need. And actually, before I even went really deep into the experience, I wanted to be hugged. I'm always up for a hug, but I didn't really feel like I needed it. But then part of me was just like, I don't want to bother anybody. It seems awkward. So I was feeling resistance to that. And I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, well, maybe I should just wait until I really need something. So I don't really need it, but like I would like one. And I knew I wasn't really far into it yet. And I pushed off on that some, but I was telling myself, well, I really should go into the resistance. It's like, this is what I always do. I always hold off on things and that kind of stuff, and then wait until I'm way past the point of needing something. So, and from my own life coaching stuff from the LMA, it's like, hey, follow the resistance. So I thought, no, it's important. Even if, it's important that I ask. I didn't actually care so much. I mean, a hug would be nice, but I didn't feel like I needed it, but I felt it was important to actually ask instead of pushing it off like I would normally do. So I raised my hand, and one of the facilitators lady, she came over. I didn't even know who was going to come over. I told her, and she's like, "No, you're not very far into the experience." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I just felt it was important to do that, But and that's all. And I was perfectly happy with that, because for me, it was about expressing it. Later on, as I went more in, I kept trying to tell myself, like, maybe it's okay that we are the way we are, and we have these things, and we're just part of life, and trying to be observers. And I was trying to give that to myself, still not fully knowing how, and just doing my best to do that. And one of the facilitators came over. I'm not sure if I should be saying their names, so I'm just not saying their names. I would like to say their names, but Cony. Cony came over, and she I'd been talking to her a lot, and she was trying to help me to connect with the inner work and inner child, and saying, give this to yourself. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to do, and trying to do that. And she's like, well, see if you can go deeper. So she knew I still needed to go deeper. And there's a lot of movement sometimes. She was asking me, like, when did this start? When did you close off? Trying to guide me and help me remember. And I couldn't remember exactly when. I knew when I closed off, 8, but I always felt like there was something more there even earlier. And at one point, she got me my photo of my baby self. And freaking, she was sitting up on top of my floof was sitting up on top of my head like that. And she's just helping to guide me. I'm getting too much into details. I can't remember the exact details anymore, but we talked about just a little while ago. What time is it? I don't want to go for too long. At one point, I'm going to make this in multiple videos. At one point, she was asking me to, if I could stay still, because I'm fidgeting a lot and everything. I stopped moving my legs, and I tried to be still, but then my back and my arms started moving a lot. and she's like, can you be still? I'm like, I'm actually trying. It's like this is out of my control. I had to laugh. I was laughing at it because I was like, I was trying to be still and wanting to give myself what I needed and to go in deeper. And at that point, they'd give me a top off, and I eventually start going deeper more. She stayed with me for a while. I was holding her hand, and eventually, she went off. And it's kind of weird, because after a while, I was wondering, am I actually holding her hand and stroking her hand, or did she move it to my own hand? Because you're not fully connected with your body, but still aware of my body. It's interesting. It's an interesting sensation. But it was still her. But then, she left me after a while and said, just keep doing this for yourself. So then I was just holding my own hands and stroking my own hand and holding the picture of me. And as it went farther in, I think I'm gonna stop here. I actually had gotten up to go to the bathroom once, and it was when I got topped off, and it was a little bit of snow. I was like, oh look, there's snow out. It was nice. But now I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna make another video. So I'll see you again, part 2 of the psilocybin second day trip journey. I have a hard time. I don't really consider it a journey, because I never left myself. Or it was a journey. It was a journey home, because throughout the whole entire thing, I felt like myself. Just like the first day, I felt like myself, questioning, wanting to do what's best for myself, trying to figure it out, and trying to give myself that care that I needed, and knowing that, I closed off when I was younger because I was lonely, I guess, and I didn't understand, and a lot of the things that happened then, just, it hurt a lot, and I closed my emotions off. Something fierce. When I was 8, because of the divorce, just how things go, didn't have the good, proper emotional support. The parents did the best they knew how, and there was other stuff, but I mean, I always had felt before that there was always something too, but it was when I was 8 that I really closed off, and I've always just wanted to be understood. I mean, I've always wanted that, and during this experience, I was trying to give that to myself as best as I could. Part 3, after all, I didn't know that when I was recording the last part 2, I accidentally hit the stop button only a minute and 20 seconds in. I was talking for a good 6 or 7 minutes probably. So I gotta figure it out again. And I had really connected my emotions when I was talking about it too. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But I was saying that when I was in this journey, and I had, when I was younger, Cony was like trying to help me say, when did this start? Try to think back, and I was like, I don't know. It's like, I know I closed off when I was 8. I mean, a lot, but I always felt like there was more before, but it was really when I closed off, because I don't even know why, but inside I felt lonely. I felt very lonely, and like I was just trying to do what was right for me and help myself. And I mean, I closed myself off so much that I couldn't even be hugged or told I love you. And I've always just wanted to be understood. I've always wanted to understand myself, and I've had this confusion for so long, and I wish I had not hit the stop button by accident, because I'm not connecting with it as much this time, because just time, it changes, it flows. That's okay. But when I was in this and trying to give that care to myself, I didn't know. At some point, it was like Cony was there with me for a while, and she was holding my hand, which I really greatly appreciated. And I was like, I was holding her hand for a while, and at some point, I almost kind of was wondering, it's like, because I was more disconnected with my body, even though I was myself the whole time. I didn't know fully if, because I've never had this experience, I had no idea if, because I was in it deeper, like the first time, from a couple days ago, I was certain I was just on the bed the whole time, and just all that moving. This time I was like, I was only aware of being on the bed. But I also started questioning, going, is this so deep that I actually am up and doing things too, and I'm just not aware of it? Like, or is this part where I'm like sitting here, is this maybe it's just at the trail end, but I've actually been up and doing stuff and I don't remember? Or is this interspersed? Or is this itself an illusion? This is just the last thing I knew, and I had no idea. Because I'd never experienced this. So I started questioning that, going, at one point I was like, well, if I am up and doing things, or if I have done stuff before, and I just came back to bed, and that's all I'm remembering now, I was like, would I have done something that, might have been embarrassing or inappropriate, just knowing some of my own insecurities? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, would the fact that I'm thinking about this actually make me then go and do it, if this is all actually interspersed? I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I hope not. It's like, nothing will happen there. It's like, but I was like, but I trust myself. It's like, I know I trust everyone here. We're all safe. This is fine. If that's happening, it's happening. It's like, but I had no clue. And back to when I said Cony was holding my hand earlier, and I was rubbing her hand and just appreciated her being there and her helping to guide me and asking me, like, can you be still, because I was moving. But then when I I might have said this in the last video, I don't remember anymore, but I tried to be still, but then my back started shaking and moving a lot, and I had to laugh because it's like, she asked, it's like, can you be still? I'm like, I'm trying actually. He's like, but I can't. It's like, it's just moving on its own, and I had to laugh at it. It's okay, but just that inner part of me that just wanted to do what's best for me and to give me that comfort that I needed. Just wanted to do. I just wanted. I don't say it's it. That's me. It's to me that I've always been aware of. I've always been aware of that part of me. So none of this felt different. This was me. And after a while, she left, and then she's like gave me my picture of my baby self, put it on me, and Few for Kims was up here. And then I was rubbing. She's like, try to go deeper and give this to yourself. And I was like just rubbing my own hand after a while and the picture. And when I started questioning, it's like, have I been doing things? And like not being sure. And I was crying. I know I had been crying a lot already by that point, and I could feel the tears coming down my face. But as far as I know, it was just calmly crying. I was just nothing else. It felt good. I appreciated it. And when I was questioning whether or not I was up and doing things, about whether it's like, was I up and doing things that I wasn't aware of? I started wishing that I was hoping that I was. I was like, I was talking to myself and saying, I don't know if all I'm aware of, because as far as I was aware, I was in the bed the whole time. But I was like, I don't know if this is all that's actually happened, or if there's been stuff that I'm not aware of. But I was telling myself, but I hope I actually was, and I hope that you were up and enjoying your time with your friends and talking with people, and I hope that you're having a good time. I hope that just this very deep hope for myself and care, that telling myself that I know how beautiful you find life, and that even in your dark times, that you still find the beauty in life, and the little things, and the flowers, and the jokes, and play, and that I understand that it's confusing. I'm confused as well. I know it can be hard sometimes, but it's okay because I'm here. I'm here for you, and I'm not going to leave you. And that I hope that if there is something else that's happening for you that I'm not aware of, that if you're up, I hope that you're enjoying your time. I hope that you're crying. I hope that you're happy. I hope that you're dancing with everyone, because I always wanted to dance, and the dancing from last year with the LMA, the WCA retreat, was very special to me because they helped me to learn how to dance, and I've always wanted to dance for years because I see other people doing it, and it just looks lovely. And I was just wishing myself the best. I was like, I hope you're doing these things, and I hope that you're hugging people and appreciating everyone, and that I started going through everyone's name in my head, but sometimes would have a hard time pulling one up again. I tell myself it's okay if sometimes you lose track, because you lose track of your own siblings' names once in a while. This is normal. It's like, you don't need to feel bad. And I hope that at one point I was even telling myself, like, I don't know if I've been there for a while. I don't know if I've been up, but if you are up, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you had something to drink and gotten something to eat. It's like, I know sometimes you don't drink often enough, so I hope you're taking care of yourself. And I hope that if this is interspersed, that you're hearing my advice. I kept hoping that it's like, I hope that if this is not just at the end, I hope that I'm giving you this advice and it's interspersed with whatever is happening, and that you're able to hear it not just after the fact. And this very deep desire to just calmly be there for myself and know that it's okay. And I understand that life is scary sometimes, and that I don't know what's happening. I still don't know what's going to happen, but that's okay. That I'll be here, and and I really appreciated it. And what time is it? I'm going to carry on. I'll do another video. It's a lot. But I was just saying that I was just wishing myself all the best and telling myself, like, if you are doing stuff that I'm not aware of, I wish I was there with you. I was like, I'm curious to know what you're doing, if it was, or if I'm just really just here. And there were times when I was questioning, it's like, am I doing something appropriate? And I would feel the I'm still holding my picture of myself. I'm like, no, I'm still here. I haven't moved. So this has got to be in my head. But then also still going back to going, it's like, yeah, but this just might be at the end. I might have been up and come back down. It's like, I don't actually know. But not knowing what this experience was is a key part, because if I had known that, no, I was lying in bed the whole time, but I didn't know that. It's like, if I'd known that, then this would have been a very different experience. So the fact that I've never done this was a key integral part of how I experienced this too, because I simply did not know if I was completely disconnected, which I was not. But the whole time, this just felt like me. This was never felt like anything other than me. This is the me that I've always known. I've always been aware of myself. And sometimes it gets overridden when I get upset with myself and down, but I'm always still there. I never feel like it goes away completely, and sometimes it's just confused and trying. and later on, as I could feel that I was starting to come out of it, I was just telling myself, it's okay. I'm here. I'm here for you, and I'm never gonna leave you. I'll always be here for you. I love you, and it's all right. I know it's scary, and I just had this very deep feeling of knowing that I was, coming back out of it and was drifting away from it, but telling myself that even after this is out, I'm still here. I'm still here for you. I know that we might have some hard times. We still might stumble with some of these stumbling blocks, but it's okay. We can get through this, and that I'm here always. And it was just stuff like that, overwhelming love and care for myself, and this calmness and this soothing that I needed, and knowing that I can do that for myself. It was a very good experience, and I greatly appreciate it, and I love everyone here. And Floof was there with me, and as I was coming out of it, I was like hugging him and I was giving him kisses, because I was just like wondering if we'd done anything. Like, I had no idea, and just very curious. and at one point, actually, when I was deep in it, I didn't know that there was anyone with me, but then suddenly, I felt the weight of someone lift off of my head and walk away. So I was like, but I didn't feel it, because Cony had been there with me, and she'd been resting her hand on my head, just being there with me. But I was used to the touch at that point, because I'd kind of given it out, and it was only when she removed that I suddenly was aware, like, oh, that was I know it's probably Cony, but I was like, she's been here with me, and I felt so grateful that she'd been there with me, even though I wasn't aware of it at that moment. So she'd come back. I didn't realize she'd come back at that point from one of the earlier times. And then when I was coming out of it, I was telling her some of these things and just enjoying it. And I was even telling her, like, I'm curious if I was doing any of this stuff. And she was just telling me, it's like, oh, I was like, who knows? But she was just letting me play with it. Like, I was like, I am curious. I'm like, she's like, it's okay, you don't have to worry about it. I'm like, no, I'm not curious. I'm not worried. I'm just curious. I'm really curious if I was doing things or not. If I, and she's telling me, it's like, no, you did great. You did perfect. You did well. And it was someone else later on when I was trying to explain this, and she wasn't sure what I was talking about. And I was like, I became aware that she doesn't know what I'm talking about. Like, and so I did figure out that, no, I was just lying here the whole time. So it's funny, but not knowing if that was happening. And like, if I had this experience, I wouldn't have thought that, because I felt perfectly conscious. I didn't feel like, it's just that I simply didn't know about what if stuff like that happened. And, with having that being more disconnected from my body, whereas I could feel it, but I still felt disconnected, but I was still aware of my body. It's very interesting. But it was a key feature. And interesting, I kept telling her, I was hoping that I was giving myself this advice ahead of time and not just at the very end. And I was hoping that I had been doing all that. And then today, I was continuing on from last time. kind of no longer at the journey. But I was telling myself that I hope that somehow this was interspersed in all this advice that I was giving to myself and the care. I was hoping that I had given it to myself ahead of time, and that if I was interacting with everybody and we just weren't aware, which was not the case, we're just lying there, that I was giving myself this advice ahead of time. And then today we did some somatic dancing. So I actually did give myself the advice ahead of time, because I was telling myself, I hope you're dancing, I hope you're hugging people, I hope you're having a good time and enjoying the time with your friends. So I did give myself that advice ahead of time, as it turned out. Oh, it was nice. It was nice to be able to move. I've never moved like that, danced like that before. And they worked us through this and gave us things like, oh, imagine that you're experiencing this, imagine you're experiencing that. And is very different from the dancing I did at WCA last year, where we're watching people. This is just, hey, move the way your body wants to move and just let it go and just kind of work into it. And it was great. And last night, a couple times when I went to bed, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I could feel it. It's like I started thinking, it's like, I know I have this feeling inside, but how is this going to help me know what to do with my coaching, like technical skills? And I could feel a little bit of concern. Well, it wasn't a problem, but I could still feel a little concern. But then I used the same soothing of myself. I told myself, it's okay, little buddy. I know it's scary. You don't know what's gonna happen, but we never do. That's just part of life. But we got this together. And I wrote down exactly what I said. But I was something like, I call myself little buddy, and I immediately felt soothed. And it happened a few other times when I was lying in bed. I'm working on 1.5 hours of sleep. I had so much freaking energy. Everyone's like, I'm like, there's a reason why I'm called the Energizer Bunny. I had so much energy. This has been a great week. But I've already used it several times where I feel myself like a little uncertainty. I'm like, it's okay, Ken. It's okay. It's like, we got this. It's like, we'll figure it out. And I'm already using the tools, but gotta keep using it. Gotta keep doing this stuff going forward and giving this care to myself and connecting with people. And I even was remembering all the people from my WCA were there with me through Flupierkins, and he's the best buddy. and I think this is good. There's more, but this has been a very good experience, and I'm going to do what I can to keep this with me and to keep myself, my calm, my home, myself that's always there, that I've always been aware of. It's just all of this just felt like this is how I dream. This is how I am. None of it felt unusual to me, other than just the body disconnect to a degree. But otherwise, it's like dreaming. But I was still conscious, and I'm like, yeah. It's like it just felt like me the whole time. It was like, this is me. And Cony had actually asked me at one point, when she'd come back one of the times, she's like, so is this a new experience for you? I'm like, no, this isn't a new experience. This is the me that I'm always aware of. It's just a lot of times there's confusion and not sure what to do, and these layers and stuff. But this isn't even a new experience. This is me. Yeah, but my hand is freezing. It's very cold out here, so I'm gonna go in. I think this is good for now. See y'all later, and thank you for being part of my journey. This is all very important to me, and I hope that someone finds some help with this, or comfort, whatnot. And yes, my hands are freezing, so I will see you all later. Bye.